Roll.
Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. Is it real or is it a rerun? That is the question. It's been rerun for a while. Tonight it's real. We are on the air live. We've got some different stuff, and I've got a couple of new contraptions sitting in here that I have to bother with. Um, but we think it's going to work. It's not perfect yet. We'll get it better, but we do believe it's going to work. So the phone line is open. The number's on your screen, and you can email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. So we'd love to hear from you either by the phone or by the email. This is our return to the air after a 2 week. Well, I hate to use the word vacation. That's not exactly what it was. For those of you who don't know, many of you do know, but those who don't know, we disappeared from the air 2 weeks ago when Microsoft shut down its program Skype. And Skype was a piece of software we were using. That's what we used to get on the air. And Microsoft made that not work anymore, and we've been searching for a replacement ever since. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. You're on in Danville.
Oh, good. It's good to be on in Danville. Good to be on anywhere. Certainly in Danville.
The last race. Now, where did I finish, sir?
Okay. Wow. We got to go back into the archives here. Um, all these weeks ago. Let me just tell you where you are. You are number 9. You're in 9th place right now.
Well, at least I'm in the top 10. That's where I want to be.
Yes, you are. And by the way, let me mention, before you go ahead, let me mention that last week's race, of course, yesterday was the All-Star race, but last week's Cup race, we were not able, because we hadn't been on the air, and I was unable to get everybody involved in that race.
Yes.
So it's not going to count that one. The Texas race is the most recent one that counts in our standings. And of course, coming up, the Coca-Cola 600, that'll be the next one that counts. So that's our status right now.
Can I go back with the Watermelon Man again?
Yeah, if that is your wish. In fact, because of the race that didn't count, there are no restrictions this week on who you can pick. Because obviously we missed a week. So if you want to pick the same driver you picked 2 weeks ago in Texas, you can do that. So you've got Chastain for the Coca-Cola.
Yes. Yes, right. I'm looking for a watermelon to be broken on the.
Well, we've been looking for a watermelon to be broken for quite a while now, and we've been disappointed time after time. Maybe this will be the time.
Well, I'm not going to give up. I always have faith.
Well, good. We should never give up, just as we did not give up in the past 2 weeks on finding a way to get back on the air. Don't ever give up.
Oh, no. I just want to remind the rest of the callers, your driver will be eating the number 1 dust this weekend.
Or maybe perhaps eating his watermelon seeds.
Yeah, that's better. They'll be eating watermelon seeds all up in their grill.
All right. Well, we'll certainly look forward to seeing how that works out.
Oh, yeah. I just want the rest of them to know. And to the one that keeps winning a lot, that goes for him too, sir.
The one that keeps winning a lot? Which one is that? You mean Christopher Bell?
Oh, no, not him. One of the callers.
Oh, you must be you challenging somebody? Are you challenging Mr. Draper, who's in first place?
No, not him. The other guy.
The other guy. All right. I can sit here and guess all night and never get it. Who in particular is it you're talking about?
Uh, uh, oh Lord, I keep forgetting. It's uh, it's the one that started doing pretty good at the start of the season and last year.
In last year. Oh, him. Okay. So you're challenging that person.
He'll probably call in, yes.
Okay, maybe if
But
he
I,
don't.
I don't want to call him Mr. NAACP. I don't. To me, he's just a caller.
Oh, the liberal. It's the liberal that you're challenging.
Yeah, I'm calling him out.
Okay. All right. Well, then you've done that, and I'm sure that he will have an appropriate response. He is, by the way, in 11th spot, so he's 2 spots behind you.
Well, I'm also calling out Mr. Draper.
Okay, well, we'll throw in Mr. Well, let's throw in everybody. Let's call out everybody and just tell them all that you're going to win.
I'm going to win. You people call it a day. Stay home and think about it.
Okay. All right. I can understand that. And thank you for calling.
Bye, sir.
And the phone line is open now. There's a number on your screen, I guess. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you either by phone or by email. And to some emails here. This is just hoping you'll be on tonight. Star News has been black since Charles got out to sea. Did he take that 3-hour tour? It was more than a 3-hour tour. But we are live tonight, emailer, and thank you for your good wishes. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hello, Ken. It's been a while since we've seen you back on the air. Good to see you.
Well, thank you. It's been a while since we got on the air, but here we are.
Okay, I knew Charles was talking about Mr. Liberal, and I couldn't come up with his name at the time. But I knew who he was talking about.
Yeah, well,
Right.
he
Okay.
we'll let them work that out between themselves.
That's right. Hey, Ken, but look, what happened to Mr. Ridgway? I haven't heard from him in God knows when.
I don't know. I went through Ridgeway the other day, and I thought about Mr. Ridgway. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from him or heard anything about him. Probably in what, at least a year, maybe a couple of years. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay.
You know, when the show first come on, he was one of the top ones that always would call in. I hope he's okay, and I hope he's listening, and I hope he'd call in. I used to love to hear him talk, cause he really, really gets into it, when he talks. I would really love to hear from him.
Oh, I would too. If at least hear from him or get some information about him. As you say, I hope he's okay.
There you go. I do too, Ken, but I was going to talk a little bit about politics, but no, it's been 2 weeks since you've been on. I got so much to say, I never could get it all in tonight, so I'm going to let it go.
All right. Well, sometimes that's the best thing to do with politics is let it go.
Exactly. That's right, Ken. All right, you have a blessed one, and we'll talk to you later.
Well, thanks. Thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. There's the phone number up there. If you'd like to give us a call, you can email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. We are on the air, actually, truly, really on the air tonight after a struggle over the past couple of weeks. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks. Glad to be back.
Well, Mr. Liberman and I were talking a while back, man, and we didn't know what would happen if you had some medical problems or you've been deported to El Salvador or something. We just couldn't figure it out, but glad to see you back.
No, it's not either one. We had Microsoft shut down the software Skype that we had been using. Microsoft just deep sixed it, made it stop working. And we've been looking for a new program ever since that would work. And so we we found one at least that gets us back on the air.
Well, for what it's worth, Ken, you're coming in clear at my house, so I hope to continue to stay on with you on because the voice is clear, the picture's clear, so
Well, good.
whatever it is, good here. So,
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
yeah. What'd you do for the 2 weeks you was off? You go anywhere? Visit anybody? Anything?
I got my driver's license, and
Oh, you.
and that wasn't a quick thing. That took some time.
Yeah. Well, I heard that they might delay that for 2 years. Do you think that's going to happen? I mean, get them renewed in North Carolina?
I think it will, but they haven't done it yet. There's a bill in the General Assembly that would extend your deadline for 2 years, but they haven't passed it yet.
Right.
They say that they will. It seems to have a lot of support in the General Assembly, and everybody expects them to pass it, but they didn't pass it in time for me, though. So I had to go out there a couple of days and spend some time in line.
I went by there a while back, try to get the real ID. Yeah, I'm telling you, I couldn't hardly find a parking place, and inside was just slam packed too, so I gave up on that.
There was nowhere to park. The parking lot was full. People were parking out there along the driveway, along the little road that comes in.
Right.
I mean, it was slammed. And now I only had to go 2 days, so I shouldn't complain. I know one person who had to go and stand in that line 4 days before they got through.
That's just ridiculous, kid. You know what?
Yeah, ridiculous is one word for it. There are other words, but we'll go with ridiculous.
Well, that's all I can use on the air tonight. But anyway, I was reading up on it, I guess Friday or Saturday, and they said even if they do pass it, extend it in North Carolina, your driver's license will still not be void in other states like Virginia, South Carolina, and Tennessee and stuff. So what's going to happen if you go to Virginia and you get pulled?
That's the big question, isn't it? We don't know. You can have a driver's license that expires this year that's recognized in North Carolina. We don't know whether it'll be recognized in states or not. I don't know how to answer the question, but it is certainly something to worry about.
Yeah, well, what I was reading the other day, it's according to the way it is right now, if they do pass it, what I read was it would not be valid in like Virginia, Tennessee, South Carolina. So,
well, they certainly don't have to. They would be under no obligation to recognize your license. Now they could, if they wanted to, they could decide to just as a courtesy recognize that expired license, but they don't have to, and there's no guarantee that they would.
Right, and what I was reading too, Ken, said, well, you could. If they give you a ticket or whatever, you could have a court date, and more than likely it would be thrown out. But you would still have the expense of court costs, so it's still a lose-lose for North Carolina residents,
Well, yeah, that's right. Even if you don't end up convicted of driving with an expired license, you're still going to have some inconvenience and some expense associated with it. I'll tell you that honestly, unless I heard from, well, let's just take Virginia as an example, because that's the closest state. Unless I heard some official pronouncement from the state of Virginia that they would recognize that expired license, I would not risk it. I would not leave the state with it.
And I live down here on the Virginia line. I stay in Virginia more than I do North Carolina most of the time, and I'm gonna continue to try to get mine. I mean, I got to get by September. I need to get it done, but
So,
whatever.
So yours expires in September.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the General Assembly is I'm confident they're going to pass that bill before September, which will take care of you in North Carolina. But Virginia, that might be an entirely different story.
Yeah. Ken, it's good to see you back, man, and thanks for taking the call. I really enjoy your show.
Well, thanks for calling. One other thing that might happen, at least we could hope for this, if the General Assembly does pass that bill that extends the licenses for 2 years, that ought to cut down on the long lines. If everybody's not in a rush to get their license renewed, then even if, in his case, for example, if it expires in September or whenever, chances are if they pass that bill, then when you go to get your license renewed, have nearly so long a line as you would otherwise have had. That's kind of the way it seems to me it ought to be. Will it actually be that way? Well, we'll see. But one would think that the lines would be a lot shorter if they pass that bill. One would think. Phone lines open at that number. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. Let's see, Ken, it looks like you're actually on the air live tonight. If I hear you reading this email, well, you hear me. If I hear you reading this email, I will know that you are on the air live tonight. I thought maybe they had shut you down. Well, well, they did. Microsoft shut me down. Star News didn't shut me down. Star News probably will shut me down at some point, but they haven't done it yet. It was Microsoft that shut us down when they shut down the software that we were using. But yeah, you hear me reading your. Therefore, we are on the air live tonight. This Ken, can we make our picks now for the Coca-Cola 600? Are we able to go back to the race contest? If so, I want to pick for the 600 the number 24. Yeah, you can do that. And this email is from Captain Midnight. So Captain Midnight takes the 24 for the Coca-Cola 600 coming up in Charlotte next weekend. Here's one that says, Ken, they said on the news that we're not supposed to swim at the beach because they have Portuguese men of war at the beach. And they said that that's different from a jellyfish. I thought a jellyfish was a Portuguese man of war. Well, no, not exactly. I am, of course, a marine biologist, which is why it's good to ask me questions like this. They're different things. A jellyfish is like a, you know what a jellyfish looks. If you didn't know what a jellyfish looked like, I don't think this would help you very much to picture. A jellyfish is like, a complete organism in as of itself, a thing. Whereas a Portuguese man of war is a whole lot of organisms, all kind of hanging on to each other. I don't know how many individual organisms go into a Portuguese man of war, but it's a lot. So it's an entirely different thing from a jellyfish. Portuguese man of war is the thing that can sting the living daylights out of you. And that's why they issue this warning that Portuguese men of war are present at some places along the North Carolina coast right now. And they're recommending that you not swim unless you want to get zapped, and you don't want to get zapped. It's Sunset Beach is one of the places. Of course, the question comes up, and I don't know exactly the locations. Sunset Beach is one of them. Oak Island is one of them. Now, Sunset Beach, I think that's the one down there close to the South Carolina line. Sunset Beach is almost like the northern end of Myrtle Beach, but only it's in North Carolina. Oak Island is, well, everybody knows where Oak Island is. And then there is one other place that they had mentioned, the Cape Lookout area, I think is the other one. And those are the places where the Portuguese men of war have made themselves, whatever they made themselves a nuisance, I guess we could say. So that's what you want to watch out for. If you're going there, don't swim. And that's not all. The thing I read said there's also fecal bacteria in the water in those areas, which I don't know if that somehow relates to the Portuguese men of war or not. But there is fecal bacteria. And we won't talk too much about, I mean, nobody likes to talk about fecal bacteria. So we won't do that, except to emphasize that you don't want to swim in it. So if you're going to the beach this weekend, a couple of things. You're going to spend a lot of money at the beach, a whole lot of money at the beach this coming weekend. And if you go to one of those beaches, you probably don't want to swim in the ocean, lest you get stung or soiled by fecal bacteria. And that's enough. That's enough about that. Phone line is open. The number is up there. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. And somebody wanted to know about the people in Eden who are driving around looking at people's water meters. They said they had seen these folks driving around, and they didn't look like city employees because they were not in city trucks, but they're taking the tops off people's water meters and looking in there. They are doing a water infrastructure survey. They are presumably under contract to the city of Eden, surveying the city's water infrastructure. Now, if you've lived in Eden for a while, you may know. In fact, you may have found out the hard way that the city of Eden's water infrastructure, that stuff that's down there under the ground carrying our water around, is old. It is so very old, most of it. Now, they are in the process of replacing it, but a lot of it is still muy viejo, very, very, very old stuff, as is mine, because the survey guys came to my house last week. I came to my house and surveyed my water infrastructure and broke it while they were surveying it. Somehow broke the pipe. I'm not entirely sure how they did that. But I'd been away from home, and I came home, and I noticed some guys standing on my sidewalk, and one guy sort of laying face down on the sidewalk, looking down into the hole there where my water meter is. So that made me curious, and I went and asked, and they told me they were the survey team, and they said somehow my water pipe under there, which they pointed out was extremely ancient, had gotten broken, and my water was turned off. I hope you don't have that experience. Now they turned it back on. They didn't leave me stuck for very long. I think in a very timely amount of time, a very timely fashion. Thank you very much. They got it turned back on, so that was fine, and there was no really harm done. Except that's how I found out what they were doing. They told me they were doing the water infrastructure survey. So that's what you're seeing when you see those folks. Let's see, other email. Ken, how long did you have to stand in line when you got? Because mine expires next week. And I'm wondering what I need to be prepared for. Yeah, it wasn't all day. I went twice. The first day I went actually too late in the day. Like 10:30 in the morning was too late. Because by the time I got there at 10:30, they already had more people than they were going to be able to serve that day. So the next day, not the next day, 2 days later, I went back. I went back not at 10:30 a.m., but at 7:30 a.m. So I got in line at 7:30, and I got in the building. Let me get this right. I got in line at 7:30. I got in the building before 9 o'clock. It was probably about 8:45 or 8:50 when I actually got into the building. And then by 9:15, I had my license. And I had probably, in my opinion, the worst driver's license picture ever taken since they invented driver's licenses. But I didn't care. I was just happy to get my license renewed. So the whole thing took me about an hour and 45 minutes. From the time I stepped in line to the time I left with my driver's license and my terrible picture was about an hour and 45 minutes. So that's not bad. It wasn't nearly so bad as I had expected it to be. Now, I have heard from people who didn't get through that quickly for various reasons. And I don't know exactly what the difference was in circumstances and their circumstances. But not everybody has gotten through quickly. And let me also say, I've heard from people who got through quicker than that. I've heard from folks who didn't spend an hour and 45 minutes there the way I did. But anyway, that's how long it took for me. And let me say also, they put out some water. They put out some bottles of water that people could get if they needed to. And all the folks in the office there were very, very polite and kind and cooperative, but they're just, there wasn't too much they could do. They had a certain number of people waiting, and they have a certain number of people that they can serve at any given time. And I think they kept things moving as quickly as was humanly possible, and I do appreciate that. But anyway, that was my experience, an hour and 45 minutes. Well, here's another one. Here's another one about driver's license. Ken, I want to ask about that bill that they have in Raleigh. If my license expires before they pass the bill, this is a good question. If my license expires before they pass the bill, does that extend my license for 2 years, or do you have to have your license expire after the bill is passed before you get the extension? Here's what the bill says, or what it did say. I'll tell you what it said in just a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, kid, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, early bird. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I sure have missed you these 2 weeks.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I missed being here.
Yeah, I'll see you on tonight.
Yeah, live.
Yeah, live. What place am I in? Do you know?
Oh, I do know. Let me turn the book
You
over
do?
here.
Okay.
You are in sixth place.
Still 6th place, huh?
Yep.
So where they racing at this Sunday?
This Sunday is the long one, the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte this Sunday.
In Charlotte.
Yep.
You
want to make a pick?
You'll be on tomorrow too? You think you'll be on tomorrow?
Expect to be on tomorrow and Wednesday, so you can wait and do it later.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna wait to hold on. Well, I'm glad you back on. I sure have missed y'all, man. I'll tell you, I missed this show.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. I've certainly missed talking to all you folks too.
That was a good race at Wilkesboro. Did you watch it?
Yeah, Joey Logano, I don't think liked it very much, but
No, he
it
didn't
was
like
a
it
good
much
race.
either. I thought he was going to win it, Ken. I thought he was going to get it, but Bale got him.
Yeah, I think Joey Logano, I believe, had the fastest car. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, one of the things he was upset about, and I agree with him, but I don't see any
Yeah.
point in letting the CEO of the Speedway go up there and throw a caution just because he feels like it. And you know, that last pit stop where they had the tire thing, it wasn't a caution for an accident. It was just because the CEO of the Speedway was given the privilege of waving a caution flag, and so he waved it.
Oh, I'll be darned. Ain't that something?
That's a bad way to lose.
Yeah, it is. I bet he was disgusted. See, I just happened to, I was watching it, but I went and got up, moved, and come back in, and I didn't catch the tail end of it.
Well, it was.
I just saw they was interviewing Joey Logano, and I didn't get to see, you know, what they done after that.
Yeah, well, that they had that pit stop, and Christopher Bell went in and got two tires. Logano stayed out, and Bell, with the two new tires, eventually caught Logano and passed him, and that's how it happened.
And that guy threw out. Who was the guy that threw out the flag?
The CEO of Speedway Motorsports. You know, they own a lot of racetrack, and that they just added that. They added that as a gimmick for the All-Star race to let this guy call a caution whenever he felt like it. So he.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll let you go. I'll decide who I'm gonna get. Charlotte. So they raced in Charlotte.
Yep, Charlotte it is.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, kid. Have a good night, buddy.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, that kind of got under Logano's skin. Of course, a lot of things, you know, a whole lot of things get under Joey Logano's skin, but that was one of them. And I got to say, in this case, I don't blame him. I really don't. I just don't see how allowing the CEO of Speedway Motorsports to declare a caution when nothing has happened on the track. I personally hope they don't do that one again. I haven't forgotten about the driver's license bill. We'll get back to it. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken. Glad you're back, my friend.
Well, thank you.
I'm just getting on the air, and what about the racing? And I know the first week that you was out, I said we're supposed to have that two weeks prior.
But the 2 weeks prior is not in effect for this week, because we didn't count that first race because I couldn't get the message to everybody to get their picks in. So we just didn't count that one. So this week you can pick anybody you want to.
Well, so the week that I had number 5 for Lawson, you all didn't count that because
there are several people who just
yeah
who had him, but since everybody didn't have a chance to make a pick, so we just threw that one out.
Oh, I thought you was going to just assign what they had to 2 weeks prior, the week that they couldn't reach you.
Well, we talked about that, but in the end, we decided just not to count that week.
Oh, yeah. And I got it again.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So, what's the rundown now? What I saying now?
Well, it hasn't changed since the last time we talked. You're in 11th place. You've got 132 points. You're 1 point out of 10th place.
Okay. And how many out of first place?
Let's see, 190 points is first place, so you are 58 behind first place.
Okay. And how many races now left?
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we have 6. I believe we have 6 to go.
Oh my! Oh well. I knew I needed a win, but so I said I'm back in the race. But anyway, okay. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about. I'll give you my pick for. Well, let me ask you this: who did I have the last time that I picked?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Was that 24?
The last time you picked, 24 was right, but that doesn't matter. You can pick him again if you
Okay.
want to.
Okay. Well, give me number 5.
All right, liberal
Go
take
ahead. Okay.
number 5 for Charlotte. It's in the book.
Oh yeah. All right. And Charlotte Key. Now, I know you heard it as many times as I did that Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security wouldn't be touched. And all of a sudden now, this new bill that they're trying to get approved got, what is it, 880, is that millions or billions?
That's
The,
millions from Medicaid.
yeah, from Medicaid. Now, although that may not affect people's, well, that said Medicaid, so that's not, the same thing. So Security and none of them, but that's going to greatly affect services of those that come under the umbrella of Medicaid services.
Yes, it will.
You know.
It will. They're talking about, in addition, of course, as you mentioned, none of this is what they're talking about in the House. There's some members of the House also are saying they want to add a provision that will roll back expansion of Medicaid in the states that expanded it. So that's not in the bill right now, but they might put that in there as well.
Yeah. And I mean, how much are they going to ask the poor and the middle class to absorb? That some in the new bill is getting rid of the SNAP program, isn't it?
Yes.
And so, and they want to ask them to absorb while the tax cuts, which mostly benefit the rich, they want to make those permanently. And, so the middle class don't take a beating enough with when the tariffs kick in and everything goes up, because of those tariffs. So,
well, it's I mean, yeah, that's right. People, a lot of people will lose their coverage under Medicaid, and we're talking about Medicaid here, folks, not Medicare, so let's don't confuse anyone. A lot of folks will lose their coverage under Medicaid, and some folks who don't lose their coverage entirely, their coverage will be cut back. So they will have to come up with more money.
And after this money has been approved for the people up in Western Carolina, I can't understand why the state is wanting to cut that when some of those people up there still don't have highway to the home, And this money has been approved, and they have received it, and they are saying that in Raleigh that they want they want to be careful of the Fed money and how they spend it. Now, when have politicians ever been careful with people's money?
Well, not very often. But it's a confusing thing. It's confusing
It
for the
is.
people, and I think it's confusing them a little bit in Raleigh too, because President Trump has said that he doesn't want any more FEMA money going to North Carolina, among other places. So we don't know whether or not there will be any more FEMA money for people in Western
Okay.
North Carolina. And the whole thing is it's really murky right now exactly how it's going to work out. But we do know that there are a lot of people in Western North Carolina who are still suffering.
Yeah, they suffer when all goes out. And lastly, I just, I think our leader found out he has no control over Putin and Netanyahu because they quit fighting whenever they decide enough is enough. you know.
Well, we don't know. We don't have any control over Putin or
No.
over Russia, and
No.
we do the best we can. But in the end,
Yeah.
Putin does what he wants to do. That's just what he does.
Well, Ken, so glad to have you back, brother, and you have a good night.
Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Now, about this driver's license bill, the question was, if they pass the bill, does that apply to people's driver's licenses if they expired before they passed the bill? The bill says that it applies to licenses that expired on or after the day that it became law. So based on that language in the bill, if your license expires before the bill is passed, the bill will not extend your expiration date. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Ken. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you. I've done a lot of work today, and I feel real good about it, except I hurt all over, and
Well, you accomplished something. If you hurt because you accomplished something, then that's a good thing.
Yep. That's why I hurt. I had pulled wires under my house for my heater and my AC for my thermostat. And
did you get that? Did you get that fixed?
No, Ken, my right leg has been so messed up from I stretch my nerves from my lumbar 4, 5, and S sacrum 1, 2, and 3, somewhere in there, or several places where I've had my surgery and it went bad and the rods broke and the screws there. And
good night.
I worked on my under my house on my knees and I couldn't, so I stretched my leg out and I'm bent over. My right leg stretched out, so I stretched that sciatic nerve and all the muscles in my right leg all the way up to my groin and where my leg hooks onto my body and my butt cheek area. And I mean, for a week I've been beating on my leg with my fist. I'm beating on it now, just like that.
Why?
Just to get it to wake it up. Keep it circulating.
Okay.
To keep the blood circulating, I beat on it like that, the blood flows there and the pain stops for a while. I beat it from the knee to the crotch area to the, up on my hip, up around all the back side on the right. And I'll be sitting here and my calf will just start boom with a hot throb of pain. With the right front of my leg will do it. And, I mean, it just goes to throbbing like with every heartbeat, and it's a weird pain because it's nerve. And then it'll quit, and then it'll do it in my butt on the right side.
But in spite of that, you worked all day.
I worked all day. I knew I'd be like this tonight, but I had to get this stuff done. I'm sitting on a softball right now. I got a softball on my right cheek. I move it around every once in a while to get it on a different spot on that nerve, so I can just keep working it. But I watched the video last night, tells you about it. And how it don't want to be stretched after you done hurt. It don't want to be stretched no more. It wants to stay straight. And every time you bend over, you're stretching it, and you're continuing to do damage. Mine ain't getting well. I went to the doctor back on the 28th, and to get X-rays and all, and he wrote the order for X-rays, but I ain't sure I can put my foot on the brake to stop at a stoplight or something like that. If I had to.
Well, that's not good.
That's not good at all. I'm telling you.
Well, good luck to you. We'll
I
say
gotta
a
get
prayer
back
for
under
you.
my house. I got to get under the house one more time and strip the end of those wires and connect them up, and then everything should work.
Well, I hope so. Maybe you can take a
Yeah.
break.
Hey, let me ask you, who's going to suffer at this Medicaid loss? Is it going to be the frauds and illegals, or is it going to be everyday normal people that's on Medicaid because they deserve it?
Well, I guess it'll be some of both, wouldn't it?
I haven't read anything about true Medicaid recipients losing anything.
Well, no,
I just looked it up before I called you.
I have not heard about that happening either.
Right. It's only going to be the stopping of the illegals, the fraud. Jasmine Crockett, they signed her grandmother's Social Security check for the last 22 years if she's been dead.
Well, what we're
Jasmine
talking
Crockett
about,
in Congress.
what we're talking about with the law that they haven't passed yet, that law does not specifically address fraud. It just makes general cuts to the program. It's not aimed at fraud.
So people on Medicaid, they're expecting them to not receive as much as they can't live on now.
Mr. Draper, here's the truth of it. The bill does not address that. Again, we're talking about something that has not yet become law. It does not address the consequences of the cuts. It just says that the cuts will be made.
Okay, yeah. That's what's supposed to be taking place.
Well, let's hope. That'd be great. I mean, let's hope.
I know several people in church and things like that are on Medicaid. They can't help it. They're hurting sick and got that way.
Sure.
A long time ago. And so if they do anything to them, those people won't be able to survive.
Well, if they can design the program so that it does not affect anybody who is deservedly on Medicare, that would be a great thing. I'm not confident that they can do that, but we will see.
Well, they know what those people get that's on Medicaid, so they're, somebody's got a heart is not going to take away what little bit they get and what little benefits they get.
Well,
I would think.
It'll be up to the Center for Medicare Services, but they manage Medicaid. They will be sent a budget. They'll be sent basically a law, and they will be told this is how much you can spend, and it will be up to them to apply the cuts in we hope the best way.
Well, in places like where we live, there's so many people on Medicaid that Congress people would lose their jobs if they took away any of these people's money.
Yeah, there's going to be a political factor, no doubt about it.
Yeah. I thought you did the right thing. I didn't call in to pick a driver because it was only 20, and it wasn't a true field, and it wasn't for any points. It wasn't for anything. It was a worthless race.
Yeah. Well, we just did what we thought was the best thing to do.
Right. That was a good thing to do. Okay, Ken. Good to see you back and all that.
Well, thank you, and take care of those nerves.
Oh Lord, I tell you, I'm gonna drive a nail in my hip. I'm gonna shoot it with a pneumatic nail gun. I can't hurt no.
Well, I'm going to take a guess that that might actually hurt a little worse. But if you want to try it to find out, then go ahead.
Well, now that you mention it.
Thanks for calling.
All right, bye.
Phone line is open. I better look and see what time it. Oh, look what time it is. We have just a very few minutes left for your phone calls and emails. To phone call us or email us on this edition of Star Talk. And let's look over here in the emails. Email says, Kenya, that's my understanding of the law that extend your license if your license expires after the law is passed. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
This is Garrett.
All right, Jerry. Well, thank you for calling. Here's the thing on that. The cuts were initially envisioned to take place in 2029, 4 years from now. However, the most recent bill that has been written up in the House would have the cuts take effect, I believe, in 2026. So Jerry is correct in one way. Initially, the projection was that they would take place 4 years from now, but that has changed in the more recent bill, under which they take place much sooner than that. But again, and let me emphasize one more time, we're talking about a bill that is not law, has not even passed the House of Representatives and gone to the Senate yet. We're talking about a bill here that's been written and then rewritten and argued about and changed, and it may change again. We don't know. All we know is what they have in there right now. But there's a whole lot of stuff yet to happen between now and the time that a bill like this would become law. So the only thing to do is stay tuned, and we'll see what they do. Let's see. Got time for this email, and this email says, I'm not sure I'm not actually sure what this email says. Let me study that one and read this one. Ken, I read that they threw out Craig Travis's lawsuit against the county commissioners. So they decided that the commissioners did not do slander against Craig Travis. Not exactly. The lawsuit was dismissed. I mean, that's the main thing. Suit against county commissioners claiming that they defamed him has been dismissed. All right. So there's any question about that. The lawsuit has been dismissed in court. The judge did not exactly find that there was no. The judge dismissed the lawsuit on the grounds that that they said that the suit did not actually state a claim that was actionable in that venue, in that court, and also said that the law established that the court had jurisdiction over the defendants, at least one of the defendants. So it was kind of it was a technical ruling. It was a ruling of law and not exactly a ruling on a finding of the merits of the case. So I guess we're sort of splitting hairs here. But when you talk about a judicial ruling, it's always a good idea to be careful and talk about exactly what the ruling. The ruling was based on jurisdiction, and the ruling was based on whether the plaintiff presented an actionable cause in the court. The ruling did not actually reach the merits of whether or not the comments were defamatory. All that does not change the fact that the lawsuit was dismissed. So yes, emailer, the lawsuit was dismissed on those. Now, could Mr. refile and try to correct the shortcomings that in the case? You can always refile if you want to. No idea at all whether or not he would want for me to take a guess. But the bottom line is and that is all the time. Be back. We will, as far as we know, be on tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'm